Whew. Okay, good morning. Happy June. I can't believe we are in June. It feels like a long time since I've sat down and done a reading recap because it has been. It's been 2 months. If I sound like shit, it's because I feel like shit. Okay? So we don't have to talk about it. My voice is nasally. It's fine. I'm dealing with a cold. I took all my medicine and I was hoping that I would sound a little bit better, but I don't. And if I also get short of breath really quickly, it's because I have to mouth breathe because my nose is congested AF. Anyway, good morning. Believe it or not, as well, it is June 4th. I was going to do this on May 30th, then I didn't, then I got sick. Well, then I worked the weekend, then I got sick, and I couldn't do this yesterday because I couldn't do it yesterday. Anyway, I put my hair in a ponytail, which is so cute, but like I feel like I'm a potato. So I feel like I need to sit in an angle so you can see also, yes, so you can also see my earrings, but I feel like I need to sit in an angle so you can see that I have hair, because I just look like a potato. But I'm not going to do that. Well, technically I am because I'm sitting like facing my laptop because I need to talk about the 20 books that I read in the months of April and May. 20 because the Mind F series is 5 separate books. So if you combine them as one, it's 16 books. But if you count each single one, then it's, 5 separate books. Anyway, I don't know why I'm explaining like everybody watching this video does not understand how separate books work. Okay, anyway, let's get started, shall we? Because I'm gonna run out of breath really quickly and it's a little embarrassing. So we're gonna move on. This is a April and May reading recap done almost a week into June. Anyway, so I finished reading The First to Die at the End of March-ish. And that book it broke my heart. Duh. And then I read The Dinner List and I read a couple other like small books that didn't matter and did not get me out of my slump. So I spent the first 10 days of April, I couldn't read anything. And then I read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. And let me tell you, it's a YA romance. It's an enemies to lovers. I love a good enemies to lovers story. So basically, I forget the main character's name. It's 2 months ago now. Liz, I think, and Wes. Oh yeah, Liz and Wes. They are, I guess it's not really enemies. It's more rivals to lovers, but they've been next door neighbors all their lives. He's always picked on her. He's popular, I think. I remember thinking, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I remember thinking it did not read too YA because I am almost 30. I'm at the age where when I read certain YA books, I literally can sense that the author is trying to make them sound really young and annoying, and I don't like that. So I prefer it doesn't have to be spicy. The book was not spicy or anything. It doesn't have to be some incredibly whatever thing, but I don't want them to sound like whiny little teenagers. I don't want 16, 17-year-olds to be sounding like 10 and 12-year-olds. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we're gonna move on. I love that book. Again, they were next door neighbors. I think there was some fake dating. I don't remember what else happened to it, but it was hilarious. I loved it. It was cute. I gave it 5 out of 5. Then I started and I read these. Let me pick them up. I read these throughout the month of April. So there were books in between, but I am going to talk about them all at once because I feel like it does it justice to just talk about it all at once. But I started and finished An Ember in the Ashes, the series. So I literally read this book, devoured this book, and then proceeded to order the remaining 3 and read them all in the month of April. That's how good they were. Anyway, we'll do one at a time. Ooh, please stay still. So this book follows Laya, who they live in I don't remember whatever the empire is called, but they're living in this dystopian times. Her brother gets arrested for treason. Her parents are killed, I think, and her grandma's killed. Her whole family's dead. Her brother's the only one she has left, and he gets arrested for treason. And then it also follows Elias, who is one of the military, up and coming, super gung ho, follow the rules military, except he doesn't want to, and he feels like he's trapped. So Laya decides to risk her life and get into like the rebellion or whatever it's called to be a spy for the rebellion. And there she meets Elias, who, as we know, is like a really good soldier, but he hates it. He hates being a soldier. He hates killing people. He hates doing all these things. And apparently their destinies are intertwined. Like it was fantastic. I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything else that happened in this book, if I'm being completely honest with you, but I remember having a fantastic time reading it. I gave it 5 out of 5. It was amazing. The reason why I want to talk about them all together is because I don't want to spoil it for anybody because the series builds on each other. But the next book, which is A Torch Against the Night, just continues the story. It is crazy. This one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars because I think there was just a lot going on that I was a little bit confused. And I'll be honest, I love fantasy, but sometimes I am just confused when I read fantasy because like there's so many aspects of magic. There were so many people I remember in this book that I just did not trust. The dude who was the Nightbringer or like the Nightbringer character. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read the book. But like I was like, interesting. But yeah, this one was really good. I gave it 4 out of 5. The next book in the series is A Reaper at the Gates. This was also a 5 out of 5. I remember this one. Elias did something he did something. I don't want to say it and spoil it for anybody. Again, the series is really good. I am doing a poor job at explaining what it's about because I'm trying not to spoil it because everything builds on each other. But I remember this book being like hilarious. I remember this one was like, I think the funniest of the 4 because he was doing things, Elias was doing things that he didn't want to do. So I'm like... and like they went on an adventure, like so many things happened. Like I said, so many things happened. It was like jam-packed with adventure and I flew through it. And then right after finishing this one, I read A Sky Beyond the Storm. Like it was so good I needed to finish it, which this was also a 5 out of 5 read. By the way, I am looking at my computer. If it looks like I'm looking away, I'm looking at my computer. But the end of this book was so good. Like obviously the story wraps up, but like we get to see characters that we've seen throughout the story grow. The character Helene, I genuinely was like, oh my goodness, there were so many things that just warmed my heart at the end of this book because I was like, yes, thank you. And it really wrapped the story up nicely. So I like, after so much like death and war and fighting, and you know, that's not spoilers because it's a fantasy book, so hello, like it was just so nice how the book ended, how the series wrapped up. So I don't know why I've been yapping about An Ember in the Ashes for so long, but I like, this was an unexpected, amazing series for me. And like 3 of the 4 books were 5 out of 5s. I can't wait to read Air by Sabaa Tahir. That's, I don't think related to An Ember in the Ashes, but it's another book by the same author. And yeah, I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. Like if you haven't picked this up, please do, because it's young adult, but it doesn't read super young adult. Like obviously they're young, but it doesn't read super young adult. It's not very spicy. I would give it like a 0.5 chili pepper because like there's, you know, they're kids. They have sex. Anyway, moving on. Oh, I have to like take a breath. My goodness. After I finished An Ember in the Ashes book 1, I started the Mind F series, but I'm going to talk about that last because I literally just finished the Mind F series yesterday. So we're going to just like talk about them all together at the end. So then I read A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I read and loved The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. So I had high hopes for this one and I loved it. So I gave this book 4 stars. Basically our main character Eileen, or Elsie, she stumbles onto this like magical story that her favorite author was writing and didn't finish. So she's like now in this book story and she runs into the like bookstore owner, the grumpy, of course, because it's a grumpy sunshine. And she runs into him, kind of falls for him. She didn't understand she didn't know how the story is going to end. And like, I don't remember anything else about it, but I remember thinking this was just so cute. I think Ashley Poston does a really good job at bringing like magic into reality, magical realism, but like she brings like magic into the real world without it being like over the top, without it being like a fantasy book. You know, she's like, it's kind of just like watching a like little Hallmark movie with like some magic sprinkled in there. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I like this book. It was a 4 out of 5 stars. I will read more Ashley Poston books. Moving on. Next up, I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, and I loved this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Also, the past couple months, I gave a lot of books 5 out of 5 because I was just having a great time. I'm sure if I reread them at a different time, I would be like, no, that's actually not a 5 out of 5. But you know what? Whatever. But I gave it 5 out of 5. I actually loved it. This was the first time that I had the accidental pregnancy trope. And I personally didn't think I was going to like that because I don't like when people are forced, you know, into like situations and relationships because of pregnancy. I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't like that. And I've never had a kid. I've never been pregnant. And I personally never want to be. So I was like, whatever. But like I said, it was my first time with it. And I think it was done really well. I think there was so much representation. There was disability representation for both characters, which was so nice. I loved that they had like just a little like when they were trying to figure out a name for their kid, they called their kid a they them. They didn't say, oh, it's gonna be a girl or a boy. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I don't know, I thought it was really cute. I thought like obviously the like accidental pregnancy and forcing them together and then just like them living together and all these things to like make it work, and it was really cute. And the end was like a little epilogues, or sometimes I'm like, dang. Anyway, so because I was reading that, I wanted a lot more summer romances, just like light and fluffy summer romances. And it has been so cold. Like, it's been so cold and cloudy for the past month, basically, and it's really annoying. Anyway, next up, I read Baby City by Frida McFadden and Kelly Stoddard. I don't know how to say their last name, but Baby City. It wasn't really a thriller. It was kind of just more like a general fiction medical story with a little sprinkle of romance and like a little sprinkle of a thriller aspect of it. And the ending was cute. And I remember the book was hilarious, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I was reading a couple more books from the Mind F series. And then I read Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. And I remember it was really cute, like best friends to lovers, like almost instant best friends, if I remember correctly. And then they were setting each other up on dates. And of course, they fall for each other. But like best friends are like, we'll get you to date other people and then, you know, whatever. But I thought it was really cute. It was romance. It was really cute. Next up, I read Love and Other Words. I obviously was in a Christina Lauren mood. So I read Love and Other Words, and oh my goodness, I was thinking back because I remember reading, is it Every Summer After by Carly Fortune? And I figured like these books would be similar. I'm glad I finally read this because it has been on my TBR for probably 2 to 3 years now. And anyway, I'm so glad I finally read it. It's childhood friends to lovers, you know, second chance romance and everything. I loved, what was their name again? Elliot and Macy were just so cute. I loved that it kept going back and forth so you can like see the story building while you see what's happening in real life. I thought the end was a little bit rushed, so I gave it 4.5 stars because I thought the end felt like a little bit rushed. And like the secret, like the reason why they stopped being friends, you know, But I will say I like that she's a pediatric doctor because I'm a peds nurse. So I love reading stories with, you know, characters in the field that I do or similar because I love this book so much. And like I said, I gave it a 4.5 stars because I thought the ending was a little bit rushed, but it was still such a cute story. And like this is the summer vibes that I want. And anyway, because I loved it so much, I could not resist. I simply could not resist. I am obsessed. Like, take all my money, please and thank you. I want special editions of all the books that I love because, like, my favorite word is you. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. It's so cute. Like the pink, like this is the summery dream that I want. My stomach is grumbling. Anyway, moving on. I had to get the special edition. It was just too cute. Oh my goodness. Next up, I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I remember this book has also been on my TBR for a long time, but I remember starting to read the back of this book and stopping, and I was like, I kept being scared to read the book because it says Chloe Brown is chronically ill. She has a goal, a plan, and a list, and after almost but not quite dying, she's come up with 7 directives to help her get a life, Chloe Brown, and whatever. But I remember because I was like, this is going to be, they both die at the end. This is going to be that. I don't want that to happen. I want a cute summary romance. I thought the book was going to end badly. So it took me forever to read this book, but I'm so glad that I did. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that I did. So it follows Chloe Brown. She's chronically ill and she goes through this like near death experience. So she's like, I need to do these things to make sure that I get the best and the fullest out of my life. And she meets, or like her neighbor, I think, or handyman in the building. She comes to him and they strike up a plan to help her get a life, you know, to do the things that she wants to do. And he's like, you know, the biker boy, tattoos, like super sexy, all the things. So it was a surprisingly really spicy book because I was not expecting that, but it was really cute. I remember at the end, I was like, oh my goodness, that's so good. And there was history of an abusive relationship. The story was so good. I need to work on the rest of the Brown Sisters trilogy because I think Danny is a bisexual Black woman. I think her sister Danny, or is it Eve? Honestly, I don't remember. But one of her sisters is bisexual or pansexual, and I just can't wait to read that book. I can't wait to like get back into this like universe because we got little snippets of the siblings, but not as much because this was about Chloe. But yeah, no, this was a really good book. I remember just like I ate it up. I was just like, this is so good. I've been yapping for so long. Oh my goodness. Like I can't. Next up, I read, finally, Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I love a good friends to lovers, like second chance romance story. I think that's probably my favorite trope is like friends to lovers or just second chance because it's like, Anyway, there were a couple things that I was like, I was annoyed about. His communication style was not the best. He was not good at it. And I wish he was better. But like, I liked the way it ended. They're so cute. Will and Fern are so cute. And I am here for the cuteness. That was such a great little summary of this book without saying anything that happens. The next book I read was Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I actually listened to this on audio while I was building furniture. This was in May, like, you know, middle of May or whatever. But I was building furniture, so I put this on and I like zoned out for hours because this was so good. Like,
what do you mean her best friend was pretending to be somebody else the entire time?
The end of this made me want to read the next book right away, but I don't have it and it's not available on Libby, and I was so sad. Like, hello. Anyway, it was so good. I remember just like eating it up again. Like I said, I was building furniture and I zoned out and I finished the book in one day. It was amazing. So I can't wait to read the next one. It's a witch and a witch hunter. I should tell you, Rune is a witch and she's pretending not to be. And she's also this like avenging, like wow. She spends her time being a vigilante called the Crimson Moth. She meets Gideon, who is a witch hunter, and he is currently hunting the Crimson Moth. Apparently, I am just here for books where the woman is the bad guy and the man is literally hunting her. Apparently, that is the vibe that I'm going for this summer. But yeah, I can't wait. Once this is available on Libby for me to listen to the second book, I will be listening to the second book. I cannot wait for the next book in the story. I wish I had it, or I wish I had read it already. Next up, I also listened to on audio while I was also building furniture. Actually, I listened to it the day I was organizing my library, but I listened to Fearless by Lauren Roberts. Oh my goodness. The conclusion to this trilogy. Excuse me. I'll be completely honest with you. There was actually so much going on in this book that I barely remember it, but
I remember thinking it was weird how she got married to him and found out they were half siblings.
So obviously with the way Reckless ended, we needed to find out what the hell Kit was doing. Like, excuse me. But then, of course, there's Peyton being her fantastic, amazing, wonderful self. And Kai, just like, listen. This trilogy has my heart. I am like obsessed with little YA fantasy books, and this is like just right up there. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I think it was a little bit long, I would say, but I did like how it ended, kind of. Like I said, I was confused for a lot of it, and I don't remember a lot that happened, but I remember some parts that I was like, oh, no, stop that. It was also like, it was good. I liked it. Didn't love it. I think my favorite in the series is still like Powerless, and then the very end of Reckless. So then I read That One Night by Emily Rath. It's like the tiny novella right before the like Pucking Wild, I think it's called, the Jacksonville Rays series. It was very spicy, like very direct, very to the point, very spicy, and I want to read the rest of the series. I wanted to start it, but I was like, oh, this is technically the prequel or the pre-novella or whatever it's called, like the one that's before like 0.5 of the book. So I wanted to read that first, and it was like a 3-hour audio, and it was fantastic. So yeah, I will be continuing that series this summer because I feel like sports romances is very just like quick to read in the summer. Anyway, last but not least, I started and finished the Mind F series. Started in April, read the first 4 books in April, and then just like I couldn't finish the 5th book because I know why. I didn't want it to end because I was like, no. All 5 books in this book were 5 out of 5s. I think I've already said this, but I would describe this as mini Criminal Mind episodes, just like that you fly through. Anyway, so Lana is a serial killer. I can't even say that with a straight face. I can't even say it with a straight face. And like, I don't think it's a spoiler. Yeah, I don't think it's a spoiler. Anyway, but she's a serial killer, and she meets and falls for Logan, who is the FBI agent who is hunting her. This book was dark, it was disturbing, it was fun, it was funny, it was spicy. Like, it was all of the things that you want in a book. But this, I would say, is my first like dark romance, just because, like, you know, murder and blood and, you know, that. But yeah, it really was a mind F. It was a complete mind F. I was like, what? And yeah, I really can't say much more. I recommend this book because I need other people to be as disturbed, but also if you like Criminal Minds and, like, you know, little procedural cop shows, you probably would like this. But like, now you get to, you know, get into the mind of the serial killer. And like, there's so much more obviously to it, and I'm here for it. I love her, I love Lana, and I love the badass woman that she is. I am obsessed. The end was so good. I knew that it would probably end the way it did, so I wasn't like surprised, but I remember I was like, yeah. Anyway, so these were the, 20-ish, if you count it that way, books that I read in the months of April and May. I was moving this month, hence the moving content. I hope you enjoyed the moving content. I apologize if you hate moving content, but like I said, stage of life. That is the stage of life I was in. I was moving, so you get moving vlog. But I also was reading really good book. Like, I was trying my hardest to not like lose myself and just keep like every day I was unpacking and stuff. So I'm pretty much all unpacked now. There's just little things that I'm still doing and figuring out. But yeah, we're back with our regularly scheduled bookish content. I'm just like, I'm so excited for summertime. I'm so excited that it's nice and hot outside. I know I'm sick right now. Okay, you don't need to remind me, but I'm so excited to just like sit outside, sit on my patio and read. Like, that is my goal for the next like 3 months or so, at least before school starts. Because when school starts, I know it'll be a little bit more busy, and also I want to read Throne of Glass in the fall when school starts. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching this reading recap. I recommend all of these books. I want you to read all of these books. Read An Ember in the Ashes series. I think that like surprised, like I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, and I loved it as much as I did. And the Mind F series. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me on this corner of the internet for just a few minutes. Drink some water, drink some tea, take care of yourself. Don't get sick. The children hate me. They keep giving me viruses. It's really annoying, actually. But I appreciate you for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye-bye.